Hello and welcome to the 21st video lecture of Marketing Research, Semester 5, Module number 3. In this today's video lecture, we are going to discuss the steps in questionnaire design. So let us begin. So when we are talking about questionnaire design, that is designing of a questionnaire, there are certain steps that have to be followed. These are not fixed as such, but you can go through these steps so that you can systematically design your questionnaire. So what are these steps? First one, decide the information that is required. So firstly, you have to decide what information you have to collect, and this is based upon the objectives of the study. So this information what you have to collect from the respondents will be decided by the objective or the purpose of your study. So based upon the purpose of your study, you will decide what are the information or what is the data that has to be collected from the respondents. Once you know what is the information that has to be collected, then you have to decide what are your target respondents, that is from whom you are going to collect this data. The first step talked about what is the information that you're going to collect. The second step is telling from where you're going to collect or from whom you're going to collect this information. So second step is defining the target respondents. That is, you have to decide who your target respondents will be. You have to decide what will be your population, and you have to decide the sample from whom you are going to collect the data. That is, suppose if your study is like about pressure cookers in India. So suppose if you're launching pressure cooker, a new pressure cooker brand in India, and you're going to do a research on maybe the products that are there existing in India, then probably the population that you might be interested in will be women, that household women, mostly married household women. And this is what you have to collect information from these people. You cannot collect information from, say, small children. You cannot collect information from, say, men. Most of the men do not cook in India. Well, I'm generalizing this statement, but that remains the fact, especially in rural India, most of the men do not cook. So the most valuable information that, or the suitable information you can get, is from women who work in, who do household work in uh, India, and especially the married one. So you have to decide this way, who will be your target respondents. Maybe if you are going to launch the product in, say, upper part of Karnataka, that is North Karnataka, then you can say that you are going to collect a respondent, the information from respondents, that is women who are homemakers, and also who are from North Karnataka, maybe Belgaum, Dharwad, Gulbarga, Bijapur, so this kind of region. The next step is choose the method or methods of reaching your target respondent. Now you know what is the information that has to be collected. You also know from whom this information has to be collected. So the next step is you have to choose the method of reaching the target respondents. Are you gonna go door to door and ask them which brand of pressure cooker are you using? Is this what you are gonna do? So that is personal interviews. Or are you sending them a questionnaire by post, or are you emailing them or whatsapping them to fill this questionnaire and send it back to you? Or is there a method of calling the people, that is on phone, and doing a teleconferencing or interview on telephone? So telephonic interview, is it possible? So you have to decide which is the method through which you are going to reach your target respondents. So once you decide this, that is what information you are going to collect, from whom you are going to collect this information, and how you are going to reach these people. The next important is your questionnaire. So all the format, the questions that you're gonna ask the respondents. So from here onwards we are concentrating on that subject. So the fourth step talks about decide the question content. So you have to decide the content of the questionnaire, that is what exactly should be included in the questionnaire, which question should be included, or which question should not be included. There any chances that we have to delete certain questions, we have to change certain questions, or we have to add certain questions. So these are the things that you have to decide. Once you do that, then concentrate on the wordings of the questions. This is also very important. Why? Because certain times what we come across is the questions are quite leading towards certain answers. In one of my previous video lecture, I had talked about leading questions. That is, questions where you are actually giving answers or leading the respondents towards a particular answer. A question like, say, our hotel is the best hotel in Belgaum. Do you agree to this? So you are actually answering first, saying that your hotel is the best hotel in Belgaum, and then you are asking, do you agree? Then most of the people, even if they do not agree, will say yes to this. So this kind of leading question should not be there. Secondly, words which are difficult to understand, especially technical words, if they are there, very difficult, you are not gonna write a literary work here. So try to avoid certain words which are very difficult to understand for common people. Try to keep it as easy as possible. Do not keep it too long questions so that people get confused. Normally a one or two line question is more than enough. Extreme it becomes two line. In fact, if you add a paragraph, a question of a paragraph length so consisting of 7 to 8 lines, the respondent might get bored as well as he might get confused. So the number of words that are to be included should also be considered when you're talking about wordings. Then how you're wording it, is it very strongly worded? So if it is very strongly worded, your question that should be avoided. Similarly, any ambiguous meaning is there or what, that you have to think. Ambiguous, what is the meaning of ambiguous meaning? Ambiguous questions are those questions which may have two meanings, or which may mean this also, that also. So when we are kind of this confusing the respondents, this is not okay. So you have to remove all those words or all those questions which are ambiguous in nature. So such kind of words should be removed. So you have to work on the wordings of the questionnaire. Then after this, what we do is we put question into a meaningful order and format. Here we try to arrange the questions in a meaningful order. So in this case, normally what we follow is opening questions, introductory part, then opening questions, then we have the body of the question which includes the main subject of your research, and then we end up with a closing question. So this is normally what is followed in most of the questionnaires. You can have similar kind of a format, or you can develop certain different format, but remember one thing, that the questions that you are going to put should be in a very logical sequence so that it becomes easier for the respondents to answer your questions. So next is you have to check the length of the questionnaire. Now, where many people ask, how many questions should I put? Should I put 10 questions? Is it enough? Should I put 15 questions? Is it enough? Well, number of questions does not has any impact on your questionnaire. In fact, if you can get your objectives satisfied, that is, if you can reach your objectives, achieve your objectives within 3 to 4 questions also, it is more than enough. If you cannot achieve your objectives within 20 questions also, it is not enough. So it is not about how many number of questions you have to put in a questionnaire. It is about whether these questions what you have put will help you to solve your to reach your objectives or not, which you have set. So that is more important. So that you have to remove from your mind that you have to put 10 questions, 15 questions in a questionnaire. So you have to see whether all these questions which you have put in your questionnaire can help you to achieve your objectives. So once you have done that, that means these are number of questions which are needed. Now one more thing is, how many questions. Now again, if you want to really quantify it, how many questions, say suppose if you give 200 questions in a questionnaire saying that these many questions are needed to satisfy my objectives, well, that is not enough, because that is not practical. People who are responding to your questionnaire may not be able to fill such a huge big questionnaire. So this kind of questionnaire should not be given, which are very lengthy. Similarly, very small questionnaires may also not serve your purpose many times. So you have to come up with an optimal questionnaire size. Normally 10 to 15 questions is more than enough. One page, 1.5 page questionnaire, very quickly people can fill and give it back to you. So length of the questionnaire might be 1 to 1.5 page. Do not try to exceed this. People will get bored by filling it. People will not think much. They'll just say agree, agree, strongly agree, very good, very good, very good. They'll just keep on putting it. So try to avoid these things, that is giving very lengthy questionnaires. Next one is pre-testing the questionnaire. Once everything is done and you feel that you have formed a questionnaire properly, the next step is you have to pre-test your questionnaire. Now what do you mean by pre-testing? Pre-testing is you have to test the questionnaire. Instead of going, see, your questionnaire is ready now, but you have to check whether it is completely right from the respondent's point of view, from the researcher's point of view. That is, you have said the questionnaire, you feel that the questionnaire is right, but from the responder's point of view, those who are filling the questionnaire, whether this questionnaire is okay or not. So for that, instead of doing a final survey initially itself, so what you do is initially you give this questionnaire, or you administer this questionnaire to a very small group of people within the sample. These may be your friends, your colleagues sometimes, and ask them to fill this questionnaire and give this back to you. Based upon this, you can get to know that whether you need to add certain questions, remove certain questions, you change any sequence, change the wordings of the questions if there are certain ambiguous questions, or ambiguous wordings in the questionnaire. So these kind of things you can get to know, and you can do the changes based upon the pre-test. If everything is right, then you can keep the same questionnaire. And finally, develop the final survey form, that is for develop the final questionnaire. So in the end, what you do is, you, if everything is proper after and if there is certain modifications that you have to conduct after pre-test, do that. Conduct one more pre-test if you want, and then if everything is okay, if you are satisfied with it as a researcher, and if the company who has given you the contract to do the research has is also satisfied to do to go ahead with the questionnaire, then you can go ahead with printing of the questionnaire and conduct the research. You can administer the questionnaire to the respondents. So these are the steps what you have to take do to design a questionnaire. So I hope you have understood these points. Very simple these were steps. So if you have any doubts, you can always contact us.